Hello, everybody. This is Jasper, and welcome back to another episode of the Newton Public Schools Alumni Association podcast series. Today, we have another guest joining us here. We have Darren. So, welcome to the show, Darren. Very excited to have you here today. Will you mind starting us off with a quick introduction of who you are when you graduated at Newton South, as well as what you're doing now?
Sure, yeah, thank you for having me. So I'm Darren. I graduated from Newton South back in 2015, and then graduated undergrad back in 2019. Since then, I have been working as what's called a technical director in animation, and currently I'm at Dreamworks Animation. I just started like a month ago here.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. So, you mind, I guess, walking us through kind of what you do as technical director in your job?
Sure. Yeah. So technical director is actually a job that I didn't know existed until probably halfway through undergrad. But it kind of varies, like the definition from studio to studio. And there's like a similar type of role that exists within like games. But at this places I've been, I'm currently at DreamWorks Animation, and I was at another studio called Skydance Animation for 4 years before this.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, what the technical director does is work with like production management, so like producers, production managers, supervisors, as well as artists, editors, just everyone kind of in the filmmaking process for an animation production to kind of develop different workflows and develop different tools that can assist all of the above. Right now, to give a more concrete example, I'm working specifically with like the animators at DreamWorks Animation and working to help build tools for them and just support the animators however we can to make sure that they can deliver the best final end product of a movie that they're able to.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Do you have any I guess notable products that you've kind of helped through?
So yeah, at Skydance Animation, I was a part of two different feature films. One of them was the studio's first feature film, which is pretty cool to be a part of. It's
Oh
called
wow.
Luck. It came out in I think 2021, and it's on Apple TV, but you can also watch it on like I think American Airlines. They like randomly have
Wow,
it.
that's amazing.
You can find it out there. And then the second feature I worked on should come out next year and is called Raygun, and that'll be on Netflix, I believe.
Oh, okay, that's amazing. So I guess you're kind of dealing with a lot of different aspects. I guess with I guess not just animators that you've worked with in the past, also kind of just like managing the entire project, kind of dealing with different aspects of what people need, as well as what tools they need to do in order to have the capacity to I guess do the job properly and make the movie a success. So I guess how do you think this is maybe related to your college? I guess kind of take us through the process of how you found this job, and maybe is this related to what you majored in college, or do you kind of already have this idea that I want to do something related to this in high school?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I think for a while, I'd always been very interested in animation, just of all sorts, but also like especially 3D animation.
Oh.
So in at Newton South, I took a lot of the like media courses. So like I think they had like a animation course there and like a video editing course. And I kind of didn't really know like what exactly I wanted to do with that, but I just knew like I like this stuff. I want to take classes in something I'm like interested in and learn. And then college, I went into studying computer science. Um, and I went to Georgia Tech, which has I don't know if every school is like this, but they have like concentrations basically that you can pick within
Mm-hmm.
like the realm of computer science. Um, and one of the reasons I really wanted to go there was because they had concentration in like graphics and animation. And I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like kind of up my alley and like where my interests are. I also took at Newton South, they had like an intro to programming class. And I think they also had like an AP level class. I didn't take that one. I just took the intro one. So that kind of also like sparked my interest in like coding and just like um, programming and working with like all of that type of stuff, which I think led to me wanting to go into computer science. So kind of aligned like this program at Georgia Tech had both like computer science, I could like learn more about coding, and then graphics
Okay.
and animation to learn more about that. And then I think I still didn't like know exactly what in animation or whatever like I wanted to do. I was like, I know I'm just interested in this, so let me go in, learn, and just kind of figure out um, what I was going to do. But at like school in undergrad, they actually brought in a lot of like guest speakers from different companies,
Oh,
and they had like career fairs and stuff. And it was through going to those and just like talking with people, talking with different companies and recruiters that I kind of came to know about what a technical director is, and was like, all right, this seems to be pretty aligned with like what my skill set is, what my interests are. So I'm going to try and pursue this.
I see. That is a very fascinating journey from high school that where it kind of started all the way through college. So, you talked about how, there is a very, very long journey of you kind of discovering graphics and animation alongside computer science in Georgia Tech. So, is there maybe one or two things that you did in Georgia Tech that you feel maybe had the largest impact on advancing your career in graphics and animation?
Yeah, I think like the technical side of things is very important. So I think taking classes in graphics and animation, probably my biggest, the one that I enjoyed the most was my first graphics class because it was kind of just like an
Oh,
overarching like introduction to like how like what's going on under the hood to like display those graphics on your screen. And like one of the most impactful projects I think that I got to work on then was creating like a ray tracing renderer from scratch, which is really cool. And just knowing from
fascinating.
like start to finish, like how that's all working under the hood was just super satisfying. And I think that project is when it all started to like kind of click. Like, okay, this is like it's not magic, right? Like there's some sorts of like instructions and like logic behind like how this is working. And then I think on the soft skill side, probably another thing that had a huge impact was like I mentioned, just like going to career fairs and like talking with
Right.
alumni from Georgia Tech and just trying to like learn more about like what is out there. Just because I think when you're in the bubble of being in college, you only are like exposed to so much. So you kind of have to go out of your way a little bit to find out about more of these like niche types of roles.
I see. So speaking about like the fairs where you kind of went out to meet a lot of people, are there any maybe notable people that you kind of met, or people that you met who, if you're interesting, or people who with whom you connected to, I guess, industry a lot with?
Yeah, I think it was my sophomore year, Pixar came to give a talk,
Ooh,
and it was actually like technical directors from Pixar that had come just to talk about like what they were doing. I think just trying to spread the word that like, hey, there's a role like this that exists, and like this is what we do. And I think that was probably where it really clicked and like had like, oh, okay, this is it. So I didn't like end up working for Pixar, but being able to talk to those like technical directors and just kind of like learn more about what they were doing and how they got to their position, because there is a lot of different routes you can take to
right.
get
Yeah.
there. Um, yeah, that was pretty cool.
I see, I see. So I know one thing that a lot of people are kind of concerned about when it comes to college isn't just, I guess networking obviously is going to be important as well as taking courses. But one thing that a lot of people are worried about are internships because they are kind of just like a job that you take in college where you kind of get the experience of one. So I guess what is your experience with internships? How, if you did take any, how much do you feel they maybe contributed to your future career path? Or if you didn't take any, like looking back in terms of maybe internships that you could have applied for, do you feel they could have been useful?
Yeah, that's also a really, really good question. I think so. I did do two internships during undergrad. Um, and I kind of at that point had known I wanted to like work in animation. I wanted to get just any type of internship in animation. So I put in like a lot of effort trying to like apply to all these studios and like network with people. But it actually never ended up working out while I was in undergrad for any internships. So my first summer, like freshman year, I wasn't able to land anything. So I worked at my summer job I had been doing in high school, which was as a camp counselor. And then the following year, I wasn't able to land anything at like any studio, but I was like, at this point, I just want to get like any type of professional experience. So I got like a software engineering internship at a company. It was like a telecommunications company in like the Boston area.
Oh.
Um, and then I think after that, my last summer of college, I did an internship at Comcast in Philadelphia, also like software engineering internship. And I think like even though I had this interest and I had been like studying and pursuing these things in school, like none of my internships were like directly aligned with that. And I think at the time it like obviously I was like very like grateful and excited to have these internship opportunities. But I was a little bit like bummed, I guess, that like it didn't work out with getting like the one that I like had really been gunning for. Um, but I think you shouldn't get like too discouraged. I think any
Hmm.
type of experience, even if it isn't an internship, can be a valuable experience. It's just kind of like what your mindset is going into it and what you make from it. I think almost any job, any type of experience is going to have like transferable skills and lessons that you learn there. So I think probably my biggest advice going into college is whether or not you can land an internship, just trying to find something that you can like learn and build off of, even if it's just on your own time, trying to like learn new skills, network with people, like that'll all be super valuable. And in the long run, I think it'll pay dividends.
I see. That is absolutely amazing from Daryl. Thank you very much. So, for all of us high schoolers entering college, it's just, not landing something doesn't mean that, it's all over. It's kind of just,
Exactly.
you got to try a lot of different stuff, kind of see what works for you and kind of see what opportunities come your way and what doors open for you because, it's a long, long journey. And I guess, you've got to be enduring all of this. So thank you very much once again to Darren for sharing all of this life story and as well as values with us because I certainly learned a lot. I hope that everyone listening has also learned a lot from Darren. So thank you very much once again to Darren for joining us today, and I will see you all next time.
Thank you.